We're back, y'all. I hope that everybody had a safe and enjoyable holiday weekend and that you are ready to learn, because we have got a trio of questions that will make you go, ooh, ah, gasp. At least I hope that's the case. Oh, I'm Patrick, by the way. For those of you just joining for the first time, this is Oakland Zoo at Home Ask Me Anything. Week 5. Submission number 1 comes from Cameron in Glendale, California. He asks, do any of the animals fight? Boy, that question really packs a punch. In all seriousness though, this is an important question. So let me start by addressing what animals do in the wild for fighting. Most animals are capable of combat. Just look at the teeth, claws, quills, and other body parts that they have at their disposal. But here's the thing, most animals won't want to fight. Just think about it. Animals in the wild don't have a hospital that they can go to when they get hurt. They don't have the luxury of a safe home where they can lay low while wounded. And even if they did, they'd still have to venture out to find food, and then they'd be even more vulnerable. Plus, even if you're the animal that won the fight, you still could have gotten injured and that could get infected. Game of Thrones season 1 finale, anybody? Basically, animals avoid fights because they are risky, but they've developed some really cool systems to get around it. One of my favorite examples is male deer competing for resources. They try to avoid getting all stabby with their antlers and instead do a parallel walk. For this, they stride side by side and they size each other up, how muscular they are, how well fed they are, who has more intimidating antlers. And from this parallel walk, they're usually able to figure out which one has the advantage, and the other deer eventually leaves without much physical altercation. Now, for animals in zoos, it's a bit of a different story. You may still see them play fighting, but that's natural, especially if they're younger. This helps them practice useful behaviors that they may need when they grow up. Legitimate disagreements do happen between zoo animals though, just like how best friends can quarrel. To make sure that these events don't escalate though, we spend lots of time observing our animals. Shout out to our docents and volunteers who are a huge part of this important work. If we notice any concerning behaviors or injuries, we can treat it immediately on site at our state-of-the-art veterinary hospital. And our team can brainstorm solutions to help prevent it from happening again in the future. Next, let's travel back to the island of Guam for a question from Trick. Now, he submitted several of these, so we decided to go with the one that gave us a chance to give the coolest answer. How do chameleons change color? Side note, I had to look this up because when I was in school, this research wasn't even done yet. So thanks, Trick, for helping me learn new things. So, chameleons have a layer of skin cells called iridophores that contain tiny nanocrystals inside of them. When the chameleon is relaxed, the skin cells are relaxed, so the crystals get bunched together. This reflects short wavelengths of light, so we end up seeing more blues and greens. That is the GBIV part of roigibiv in a rainbow. On the other hand, when the chameleon is excited, so too are their skin cells excited, so those nanocrystals spread out. This reflects longer wavelengths of light like reds, oranges, and yellows. That's the ROI part. Now, there is another set of animals with amazing color and texture changing abilities, and I would be remiss to ignore them in this answer. The cephalopods are a group of animals that contains octopus, squid, and cuttlefish. And they can change colors like chameleons, but in a different way. So their special skin cells are called chromatophores, and they each contain sacs of pigment of brown, red, and yellow. Now, the muscles around these chromatophores are very precisely controlled, so they can squeeze the chromatophore into different shapes. This in turn squeezes different amounts of those pigments up toward the surface. So in total, this influences the colors that we see on the animal. And on top of that, cephalopods have another layer of special skin cells further in called lucophores that can contribute luster and other colors to their look. Think of a skin cell for these animals as a pixel on a TV monitor. Each has its own color that it's displaying, but contributes to a whole big amazing picture. This final ask gets at a really prevalent myth that I'm happy to be able to talk about in this question. So, thank you to Zabi from Los Angeles, California for sending this in. He's wondering, who are the better hunters, female or male lions? The big misconception that's out there is that the females do all of the hunting and that the males just sit back looking pretty with their manes and wait for dinner to show up. Not so. Not entirely anyway. It is true that female lions are fantastic hunters, and they catch their prey cooperatively as a team. This is really unique within the cat family. And they do so on the open savanna, which just highlights their powerful predatory prowess. But males hunt too. Let's just think about the numbers for a second. A pride of lions is made up of a bunch of females and a small handful of related cooperative males. So what about all the other boys out there? What do? They still have to find food, they still have to get nutrition, they still have to hunt. Research has shown, though, that male lions prefer to hunt by stalking under cover of vegetation. So much more similar to the way a leopard or a tiger would hunt than to the style of a female lion. So it's not so much a case of girls rule, boys drool. Sorry, they both rule. 3 is the magic number, so now I must leave you. In the meantime, keep thinking of questions to submit and keep spreading the word so we can hear from even more of you. And if you already asked a question, don't let that stop you. We absolutely love our loyal askers. So until next time, this has been Oakland Zoo at Home's Ask Me Anything. I'm Patrick, signing off.